Home buying and selling is a very strategic process. You can say one wrong thing and that will blow the whole deal. Today we're going to talk about 7 things that you should not say if you are buying a house. And make sure you stay tuned to the last one. That is the one that is the most shocking. Let's get to it right now. Hi everyone, my name is Amanda Wilks with JLA Realty here in Houston, Texas. If you are new to my channel and you want to know everything about living in Houston, Texas, the good, the bad, the ugly, make sure to subscribe and click the bell each time a new video has been uploaded. I've helped countless people moving to and around Houston, Texas, and I love to hear from you. Make sure to give me a call, shoot me a text or an email anytime that's good for you, and we will put together a plan of you moving to or around Houston, Texas. As your realtor, it's my job to make sure that you are well prepared for each step of the real estate process, whether you are buying or selling. Real estate transactions can be very emotional, making it difficult for you to play the role that you need to play to make sure that you're getting the best deal that you can. That is why we are going to discuss these 7 things that you should not say when buying a home right now. And remember, number 1 is the one that most people make a mistake with, so make sure that you stay tuned until the end. So number 7 on the list is telling someone, I'm going to give you a low ball offer, will you accept it? Now, first of all, you don't want to, in the beginning, label your offer as a negative thing, which a low ball offer would definitely be considered a negative label. Also, if you are in a very heated seller's market, you might as well not even waste your time with a lowball offer, because there are typically multiple offers that are going to come in and a lowball offer will not even be considered. Now, if you're in a more balanced market or a buyer's market, go ahead and send that lowball offer, but don't label it a lowball offer. In those type markets, you are more likely to get a counter offer at least, or maybe even getting it accepted. Number 6 is telling someone they are not going to get the price they're asking for, even if it's true. Usually when houses are overpriced, it's because the seller really thinks very highly of their property and they believe that that is what it's worth. Even though they have their real estate professional provide them the data and the information, they still think that their house is worth $20,000 or $30,000 more than their neighbors because they have an emotional attachment to that house. So if you as the buyer come right out and tell them that their house is overpriced, they are immediately going to have a negative impression of you. They're going to be defensive and create a mental aversion for you. So instead of telling them that, the best thing to do is have your realtor go ahead and work up your offer. Your agent will do a comparative market analysis to really show you what the market value should be for that home. You put it together, your offer, and then your agent can send over that comparative market analysis along with the offer to the listing agent, and that will even further reinforce to the sellers that they need to really reconsider their price for the home. But you coming right out and telling them is not going to be helpful for you when you're hoping that your offer is going to be accepted. Number 5 is asking the seller, why are you selling? Now, this is a good question for your realtor to ask the listing agent, but if you come right out and ask the seller directly, then that might make them feel a little bit concerned and defensive because now they feel like they're a little cornered and it might not be a question that they're prepared to answer. So it's best to have your realtor ask that question. Number 4 is asking the seller what it's really like to live here. Now, that's a great question. And I do encourage buyers to ask that question and find out things about the neighborhood with my assistance, of course. but asking the seller directly is not the best approach. Number 4 is asking the seller what it's really like to live here. Now, this type of question is very similar to number 5. It's not an unreasonable question. You do want to know about the area, but it does put the sellers on the spot and could catch them off guard. The best thing to do is, if you see neighbors out, go over, introduce yourself, let them know that you're looking to move into the area, and ask them what made them move there, what they like about the area. Usually people want to be very helpful. They want to share their experiences. So just one simple question could have them telling you a lot of information that you didn't even have to ask for. So usually they will discuss the pros and cons without even asking. But if they don't go as far as you would like, you could further ask them if there's anything that you should know about the area. People love to talk about both positives and negatives. So usually you will get quite a bit of information. You don't want to come off like you're interrogating them, but like I said, you can usually ask one simple question and people will continue with the conversation beyond what you even asked. So it's good to go out in the community and talk to the neighbors. Number 3 is telling someone that you can afford blank amount of money. So this is your limit of what you can afford. You don't want to provide that information to a seller when you are looking to buy their house. It's something that you do want to share with your realtor in private, but if you do disclose that information to the seller or the listing agent and it happens to be more than what you're offering, then they could very well counteroffer, knowing that you have more funds than what you have offered. Now, also, whenever we submit an offer, we submit a pre-approval loan or pre-approval letter from your lender. And I have these personalized for each different contract that we submit. If we're having to do multiple offers because it is a very competitive market, I will have a new one done for each offer that we do. And that letter will be personalized with the amount that we are offering for that property. So let me give you an example. If you are qualified to purchase a home for $350,000, but you are putting in an offer for $300,000, if you submit a pre-approval letter or you tell them that I'm approved to $350,000, they're going to know that there's an additional $50,000 in there that they can maybe push when it comes to purchasing the home. If you never provide that information and you make sure that your pre-approval letter matches the amount that you're offering on the property, then it's never even a point to be considered. They don't know if that is only the amount that you qualify for or if you actually do qualify for more. So it's better just to leave that out of the conversation and let them know about the amount that you're willing to pay for the home. Number 2 is this decor is terrible. Typically, sellers want to sell their home to buyers who are going to love it and care for it just like they do. And they do not want to have people come in and make negative comments about what they have in there. Even if they're excited to begin their new home adventure, this house is part of their life, their history. The things that they have in it, they have because they love. So if you go in and you are making negative statements and insulting their home, they're not going to think very highly of you. Now, I can provide a real life example of something similar to this. My brother was working with some buyers, he was working with the sellers, and these sellers were big time Aggies. Now, if you're not familiar with Texas colleges and Texas football, Aggies are part of the A&M college, and their biggest rival is the UT Longhorns. So the seller of the home was a big Aggie, and they had a family come and look at their home, and the dad was wearing a UT Longhorns hat. So he happened to see them. A lot of times people will wait outside in their cars when their house is being shown, or they have monitoring devices in their home, maybe a Ring doorbell, or they have some type of cameras in the house. It's very common these days. But anyway, he noticed that the husband, father, the man that was looking at the home was wearing a UT Longhorn hat. Now, Aggies bleed maroon. They are die-hard about Texas A&M. Longhorns bleed burnt orange. They are die-hard about UT, and they are their biggest rivals. So when that homeowner saw this potential buyer wearing a UT Longhorns hat, he immediately said he did not want to work with him. He did not want to see what offer they had. If they had an offer, he had no interest in knowing anything about what they were doing. He didn't care. He didn't even want to review an offer from them just because of their college rivalries. Now, I'm not saying that I agree with this. Personally, business is business. I think that's kind of silly. But that's how emotional people get when it comes to the buying and selling process. So it's important to talk a lot with your agent and follow their lead and allow them to let you know how things need to progress, and respect that, because especially with today's monitoring of houses, one wrong thing said can make your likelihood of getting your offer accepted much lower. Number one is making the statement that this is my dream house. Now, this is kind of a weird topic because it can go either way. There are two sides to the coin on this one. One, it can soften the seller's heart and create an emotional tie between the two of you, where they're like, well, they love this house so much. We know that they're going to take great care of it. Maybe you have kids and they love the idea of you raising your family in their home. And a lot of agents have buyers write what we call in the industry love letters, or dear seller letters, where they talk about themselves and their family and what they like about the house and why they want to live there. And the point of the letters is just to introduce the buyers to the sellers and build an emotional connection and kind of pull at their heartstrings a little bit. However, it can also backfire. If you tell the sellers that this is the house of your dreams and you just love it so much, now they're thinking, okay, well, if you love it so much and it's so perfect, then you can come up with a little bit more money. So you definitely want to share how perfect the home is with your realtor and how much you love it to them, so they know that this one is one that you really hope to get, and we need to really pull out all the stops for it. But you have got to play the poker face when it comes to negotiations with the seller and the listing agent. So those are 7 things not to say when you are buying a home. Do you have an experience that you would like to share? If so, put it in the comments so we can all see what type of experience that you had, and maybe something to add to the list of things that we should not say. If you liked the video, make sure to click the like button and subscribe. And if you think it would be helpful to someone you know, share it with them as well. If you're looking to move to or around Houston, Texas, contact me so we can develop a plan to get you here and in the right areas. But you've got to reach out. So call, text, or email me whenever is good for you, and I will be your adventure guide when moving to Houston, Texas. Until next time,